There's something about the Ducati Monster. Even the name is quite intimidating. It's never been the sensible choice, but it's the kind of bike you promise yourself one day when you've got a few miles under your belt and a little bit more experience. The name carries history and attitude, and because of that, honestly, the Ducati Monster was never really on my list of first big bikes. When I passed my test, I pictured myself buying a Yamaha or a Honda, you know, the safe, predictable, affordable option. That's how I've always done things, watching from a distance and telling myself that one day, maybe, I'll treat myself to something a bit more premium. And then everything changed one day when I saw a Ducati Monster in person. I was at my local Yamaha dealership of all places, getting a service on my old MT125. And there it was, this bright yellow 821, glowing under the showroom lights with someone taking photographs of it, ready to get it listed on their website. Now obviously the sales team let me sit on it, and they let me start it up and hear that engine. And then they drew me up a finance plan and tried to sell me the bike. And then after that, well, I fell into the rabbit hole. Hours of YouTube and hours of man maths, hours of convincing myself that I could make a Ducati work as my first big bike. Eventually I talked myself out of the sensible Honda and the hunt began for the perfect monster. I knew that I wanted a late 2018 model. Modern electronics, ABS, a colour TFT, 110 brake horsepower and 89 Newton meters of torque. Various rider modes, adjustable traction control. It literally had everything I needed from a modern bike. For me, it had to be yellow, and ideally it had to come with the Turbignoni exhausts. And because of that, weeks passed, months even, so many inquiries and various dead ends. I even had the heartbreaking moment of putting an inquiry in for a bike that I knew fit the bill, but I was an hour too late after someone had just put a deposit down that morning. And then I found this one. Now it's a 2017 model, so it was outside of my original search and that's why I kept missing it. But it's actually one of the earliest UK registered 2018 model year bikes, and its first owner, Ducati UK. There was absolutely no hesitation on this one. I called, I paid the deposit, and I arranged for delivery without even seeing the bike in person. And then when it finally arrived, reality hit. Between the smiles and nervous laughter and just the enjoyment of having this bike on the driveway, the question started to linger and get louder in my head. Had I just done something really stupid? I've just bought 110 brake horsepower, torquey V-twin Ducati for my first bike. Was I really ready for this? In all honesty, the first rides were tense. The throttle felt snatchy, a bit like an on and off switch. The clutch was heavier than anything else I'd ever ridden. And the power was really intimidating. It was immediate. Every twist of that throttle felt like a bit of a gamble. I knew I wanted a Ducati Monster, but what I actually got, well, the best way to describe it is a mirror. It was a mirror that showed every single flaw in my riding, every bad habit, every ounce of hesitation. It really exposed me as a bad rider. Every new rider has this moment, I think, where the dream meets reality and reality bites a lot harder than you anticipate. But somewhere between the fear and the frustration, I started to learn how to ride properly. The Monster wasn't an unpredictable bike, I was a really unpredictable rider. I didn't need to tame the bike, I just needed to get better. And when I stopped worrying and having that fear, I started to listen and feel to the way the bike rode, and everything started to shift. The throttle smoothed out, the corners started to make a lot more sense and flow better, and the suspension didn't feel unusual to me anymore. It started to feel like I was connected to the bike and the road, and I knew what was coming. The bike began to teach me how to ride better. The main lessons it taught me were that confidence isn't about out-and-out power, it's about respect. And that control isn't found in the aggression, but it's in the calm moments and being confident. And that fear doesn't mean that you're not ready, it means that you care enough to get it right. So, to answer the question, is the Ducati Monster too powerful for a beginner? Well, the answer is maybe. If you've just passed your test and you're new to bikes, it might be too much for you. It has got that old school Desmodronic V-twin big punchy engine at its heart. But if you're a returning rider, or someone ready to be humbled a little bit, that isn't afraid to admit they're not the perfect rider, then I don't think there's a better choice, because this is the best teacher. I thought buying my dream bike would make me feel like a better rider, but instead, it's actually forced me to become one. The best bikes aren't always the easiest ones to ride. They're the ones that change you, challenge you, and frustrate you, and make you fall in love with the process of learning all over again. So sometimes, ultimately, your dream bike won't give you what you expect, but it will give you exactly what you need.